might just want to listen to the movie for a little bit.
I knew you would come, sooner or later. There's no way out of here. Did you know that? There's no way out of Victory Hotel. All exits they just lead back inside.
There is a way out. Just not for you.
It's getting closer. They will be here soon.
Soon enough.
Bastards. And why are you so? Do you have any reason to be happy?
No.
And why be happy? Why not? Because we're both gonna die.
Everyone dies.
It doesn't have to be this way. We can walk out of here, go our different ways, forget about the Victory Hotel and did you know, when I came here, I had nothing to live for. Now I don't want to die. I want to live, but not in here, not like this. Who is it? I knew you would come, sooner or later. There's no way out of here. Did you know that? There's no way out of Victory Hotel.
Okay.
All exits.
The dialogue is repeating. So this is, if you remember, Fiona actually mentioned that they might watch a movie called Victory Hotel. And this is that movie.
There is
Wow.
a way out.
Her steps were really loud.
Just not for you.
And funny enough, in Dreamfall, Victory Hotel becomes a location
Soon enough.
foreshadowed so many years before.
Why are you so? Do you have any reason to be happy?
Anyway,
No.
And why be happy?
let us talk to Cortez. Tell him about the
Because we're
really
both gonna
weird
die.
things that have been happening and we've been seeing and others have been seeing.
Doesn't have to be this way.
Find out
We can
what
walk
is
out of
going
here,
on.
different ways, forget about Victory Hotel and did you know, when I came here, I had nothing to live for. Now I don't want to die. I want to
You
live.
have no idea what I went through to find you. First,
Do you like movies?
sure, who doesn't? Wait a second. I was trying to tell you that
I don't much like modern movies myself. They're either too loud and expensive or too obscure and self-indulgent. But old movies, really old movies, have a charm and a simplicity that appeals to me.
listen, please don't interrupt me again. It's starting to piss me off.
But I have never interrupted you, unless I've had something important to say, of course. But go ahead. What is it you wanted to talk about?
Why did you make me search all over the city for you?
Search for me? I've been here for hours, señorita. I haven't moved. The question ought to be, what made you go out of your way to find me?
Any reason to be happy?
Well,
And why be happy? Why not?
What's so appealing about old movies?
Ah, now you're changing the subject. That's more my style, isn't it?
You can be annoyingly smug at times. Did you know that?
Of course. And I apologize for being so hard to locate today, but I had to lay low for a few hours.
Now I don't want to die.
Does it have anything to do with the cop that was staking this place out?
Not like this.
Yeah. So it was a good thing I didn't stick my head out the door to look for you then, no?
He's gone now. Are you in some kind of trouble with the police? Wait, don't tell me. Immigration.
that's racist,
No,
April.
señorita. Not the police. There are bigger players than the police.
Did you know that?
I don't want to know. I'm not getting mixed up with the mob or gangs or anything like that.
They just lead
There's
back
not much you
inside.
want to be mixed up in at all, is there?
My life's complicated enough as it is, Mr. Cortez. I don't even know what I'm doing here.
Answers.
Just not
You want, you need answers.
getting close.
You keep telling me that, but you never give me any answers. Just more questions. Like, who's out to get you? What's going on with me? How come you know so much about me?
I plan to answer all your questions today, April. By the time you go to sleep tonight, your world will have changed, and nothing will ever be the same.
You're just being cryptic again. It's like soap opera sex. Lots of boring dialogue, and when they finally go to bed, everything's dark and covered by blankets.
You want the full Monty then? Come with me. Come outside. No more talk. I will show you the truth.
I knew you would come, sooner or later. There's no way out of here. Did you know that?
This is probably as good a place as any. At least there's no one around to see, except rats.
To see what?
Stand back, señorita.
What for? What are you doing?
Why, Alice, I'm sending you through the looking glass.
Chapter name.
What? What is that? Please tell me it's a hologram.
It's a mirror to reflect your dreams.
I don't see anything, just light.
Oh, you have to step through.
Step through that? Oh no, I don't think so.
This is the moment of decision, April. All time, past and present, revolves around this moment. The destiny of worlds is in your hands. But you must make the choice on your own. La vida es corta. You must decide how to live it best.
Life is short.
I'm not sure what I should do.
I understand. It's a difficult decision, because whatever you do, your life will change forever. So take your time. Think about it. Don't rush into a decision you're not ready to make.
I just want to get my little constable guy brush.
It's Constable Guybrush. I shouldn't leave him here.
You shouldn't. Oh, I can't take the hat.
It's a perfect fit. I'm so clever I could just die. It's a mountain of garbage. It's Cortez.
We can't even look at this thing. Alright.
Are you ready to step through the looking glass?
Claro.
All right. I'll do it.
Vamos. Enter the light.
Don't say that. It sounds too ominous. Just tell me what's gonna happen.
You're about to take the first step on the longest journey of your life. But don't worry. I'll be waiting right here.
I must be insane to do this.
Yes, it's pretty much a given.
It's Cortez.
Let's go into the swirling light, eh?
Oh, I almost forgot. When you're ready to come back, pay a visit to a friend of mine called Westhouse, Brian Westhouse.
That is definitely not something you want to forget.
Vaya con Dios, child. And May the balance protect you.
That just makes me think of one of my favorite songs.
Cortez? Cortez! I have a bad feeling about this. Wait, what was the name Cortez told me to remember? Westhouse? Ryan Westhouse? I think that was it. Cortez said to look him up when I wanted to go home. Well, I want to go home now.
Okay. Well, I guess that really ominous muttering speech in the background is mostly stopped. Okay, I just want to say that was a really creepy entrance to a setting. Well, it looks like we've got a bunch of people in robes painted on the wall. Some lanterns hanging from the ceiling. Some people that I don't even know what they're doing at a giant building. It's very dark in here.
Quaint, and they go with the general decor of the place. Oil lamps, or whatever their magical equivalent may be called. Oil lamps.
How does she know they're magical?
Oil lamps, or... He looks like some kind of priest.
That he does.
He looks... Enormous satin drapes. The doors are closed.
There they are. Alright. Well, let's talk to you.
Hello? Hi.
Et tu? Emile, tu vas?
I don't understand.
Aku sta kayan paras. Inomalante kandra. Ton maris. Ore tiesiton.
Who are you?
Ken esang maris ortona. Magigean poseiton. Sare alvoca in iriam tue ithium.
Where am I?
Sankis tue. Tonan tu ken alvoch. E magican ian ton an asans.
Where's Cortez?
Tu tone e ken. Tu ken vernilia fata tintu vermilian ton. Aku tu fata. Se quandare. Ken estare. Ton. Aku kandi. Good. Niranton alvoch. Sank al coda magic. Torante. Salhe. Naven. All tongue.
What does Altum mean?
Maris. Tu verinelian aran tu torank lock eton. Aku kandi. Av orta I beginning parasimtin you. You have thiesa I magic Sara. I the knowledge. Aritua ya itue by generations e umani. Knowledge of all tongue.
Well, I feel like we figured out the pattern. You're starting to make sense.
Now you have allowed the magic to enter your heart, and the knowledge of all tongue, ever present but dormant. to guide your ears and your tongue.
I understand you. You speak English? Why didn't you just tell me straight away?
No, child. I do not speak English. I speak Naven, All Tongue, the common language of Arcadia.
Arcadia? Wait a second. How did I get here? What is this place, and who the hell are you?
Oh, my manners have abandoned me yet again. I'm afraid my preoccupation with ancient texts and the company of my fellow fathers have left me unequipped with the grace of social intercourse.
Meaning what?
That I have been rude. My name, dear child, is Tobias Grensret, and I am the Vestrum of the Sentinel, the Order of the Balance. We are the Fathers.
Okay. I'm April. April Ryan.
I take it this is your first shift, your first passage through the Divide?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I guess this is my first shift.
Then I will explain everything. Someone must. You are without guidance, without a mentor?
Mentor? There's this guy Cortez. He assisted me, told me about magic and truth and dreams and portals. Crazy stuff. Well, it seemed crazy at the time, although now I don't...
Cortez? Ah, yes, Cortez. Very good, very good. Then come, let us proceed. Let me show you Mercuria, the grandest city of all ages.
Cool, thanks for the tour. Let's see what's beyond these doors.
Explore Mercuria, April. See the sights, meet the people, and then, when you are ready, return to the temple. I will answer whatever questions you may have then.
Okay.
What the hell kind of animal is that? I've never seen anything like it. I've never... The whole fountain's been carved in one piece from a granite-like material. Very impressive. Nice fountain.
You can see the artist and her just leaping out. Okay, well, we have a diary entry. In Arcadia. Is it still Saturday? Do they even have Saturdays here? And why am I not screaming and frothing and tearing my hair out when I obviously should be? When confronted with the impossible, isn't your mind supposed to just snap? Perhaps because I've had so many vivid dreams about... Okay, now, I don't even know if dreams is the right word anymore. Visions, perhaps? Or, even better, premonitions. That's in keeping with the theme of this place. Magic. Oh yeah, magic. Apparently I'm simply supposed to accept without question that magic does exist, which is impossible. But clearly not impossible enough, because here there is magic. Wherever here is. I've written more on the next page. That's weird, she never says when she's written more. Still, in the face of all this strangeness, I feel normal. For some weird, inexplicable reason, and even though I've still to wrap my head around the concept, I accept this place. It feels comfortingly familiar in a distant, hazy way. And even though I want to go home, like right now, I'm not panicky. Not at all. Just a little bit. Oh, and I should write that name down before I forget it. Brian Westhouse. That's the last thing Cortez told me. To visit Brian Westhouse whenever I wanted to go home. And she already said she wants to go home. We can go into the stalls, we can go into the city, and looks like that is all we can go into, so let's go to the stalls first, because they're closer.
In a world without the screen, that's what passes for entertainment. And it's pretty darn good.
It is quite loud and bustling over here.
In a world... That's a particularly sleazy-looking merchant. I wonder what he's selling. That's a I wonder if that's supposed to be anybody in particular, or just any old head. I wonder if that's...
Who knows? Who knows?
What a sorry-looking bird.
Hey, you don't look too polished yourself, lady.
Oops, I didn't know you could talk.
Didn't look as if you could talk either.
Good comeback.
It's a game of some kind. It's a game of some kind.
You can't figure out what a game it is.
My intuition tells me
Maps!
that he sells maps.
Good job, 8-Ball. Very intuitive.
It's the maps merchant.
Alright, let's talk to you first, I guess.
Want to test your skill and perception with a game of cups? There are prizes to be won.
Mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
Time is money, so make it quick.
What do you know about Vestrum Tobias?
Vestron Tobias, eh? The High Priest of the Sentinel himself. Did you know they call themselves the Fathers? It's a joke. When was the last time they did anything for us, the people? No. They are only interested in sticking with their outdated customs and keeping their secrets under lock. I'm getting more and more inclined to listen to these new people, the Vanguard. Their ideas appeal to me. They may be radical, but we're past due for a change. Only thing I don't wholly approve of is their alliance with the Tyrant. Filthy, dangerous people. But the Vanguard seem to have them under control, so I'm not too worried. I wish they wouldn't allow them into the city, though.
How do you get along with your neighbor?
The maps merchant? We've faced each other for 6 years now, every single day, and he never speaks a word to me except to insult me. Nose high in the sky, calls me a charlatan, as if he's the Guardian himself. You know, good oversized bag of wind?
This guy is using a lot of terminology that we have no idea what it means. Like, I mean, just now the Guardian, the Tyrant, the Vanguard. Yeah, just what?
Do you know anything about Stark?
Not much. I'm not too sure if I even believe in the place. I mean, you hear the stories and you read the books. Well, I don't, but some do. A place where there's no magic, only science? Sounds like a bloody paradise, doesn't it? I mean, with my, skills, I could make a killing in a place like that.
What's Arcadia like?
What a queer question that is. What's the world like? It's big, for one, and too expensive. And they should ban Dalmari women from gambling because I swear, they have a second sight.
Thanks.
Now, how about a game of cups?
Her response to that very strange, like, last comment of his is thanks.
What can I win?
Well, there's coin, of course. Double your bet or choose from a wide variety of exotic prizes. Like this antique Domari canter from Guyenne. A superb replica of Mount Tyranny cast in pure solid iron. A magic walnut from the once glorious island kingdom of Ansiel.
A magic walnut.
And this, unique bird.
Get me out of here!
Aw.
Keep your beak shut, you scraggly piece of... And he talks! Great for feasts and for the amusement of infants. He's our top prize, a real keeper.
You're so rude holding this bird hostage.
How do I play?
You put your coin down on the table. I put a cup on top of it and shuffle it around with the other 2 cups. And all you have to do is guess which one hides your coin. And remember, no magic used and none allowed. This amulet right here will light up if you use magic. Then you'll be banned. For life.
Good thing we don't know how to use magic.
Sorry, but I'm broke.
May the balance bring coin to your pocket, young lady, so that you may return to me and invest it in a game of cups.
He ain't even trying to hide it.
Maps, I got maps. Can I interest you in a map, miss? Top-notch, hand-drawn in quality ink by skilled sunwriters. Ain't no better in all the Northlands.
How much are your maps?
That depends, miss. I got a very nice one here of the border mountains for only 6 herons, fresh from the quill of a sunwriter. Maps, get your maps here.
Do you sell maps of the city?
Can't help you there, miss. The Guild of Tourism has monopoly on city maps. I can tell you're not from around here, or you'd know that. Got tons of maps of all the Northlands, though, from the city of Tyron to the Bay of Fire. Maps!
Where can I find the Guild of Tourism?
They're closed for the holidays.
Sure, that makes sense. Mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
Yes, maps!
Do you know Vestrum Tobias?
Everyone knows Vestrum Tobias, girl. He's been an important part of this city for as long as I can remember.
Alright, I'm not from
What
here.
can you tell me about him?
The Vestrum is an honorable man, but a conservative one, and I don't know if he still has the best interests of the people at heart. Sometimes I think he worries too much about custom. The Sentinel have been our so-called protectors and keepers of the balance for so long, we don't even think of it anymore. But now that the Vanguard are introducing a new way of thinking, new philosophies, I'm afraid the Sentinel will find their power diminish before too long. Their resistance to change will be their downfall. Mark my words, their downfall for certain. And Tobias, honorable man that he is, will be remembered as the captain who went down with his ship.
Dang. Things are looking grim according to you. Well, we already know y'all don't get along.
How do you get along with your neighbors?
The Cups handler? Stay away from him, miss. He takes great joy in robbing people's purses. You can't beat him, not without magic. And he doesn't allow magic at his table.
How would he know if I did use magic?
Oh, he's got one of those blasted talismans. They're always digging up magical artifacts in Shagagriel, and they sell them to dogs like him for a silver coin or 2. Get a proper job, you son of a mole!
What do you know about Stark?
Land of wonders, strange customs, and machinery. Ah, to be in Stark. I'd give my right leg. Well, perhaps not my right leg as such. You really need 2 sturdy legs to stand on in this business, or you'll find yourself... yes, a grand place indeed, free of this blasted, chaotic, unpredictable magic. Does no good to anyone. Now, machines built by man, controlled by man, in servitude of man. That's the future, isn't it? Yes, the Vanguard may be a little unorthodox in their methods and teachings, but they're right about one thing. Stark and Arcadia belong together, not apart.
I have to say, it's interesting how they seem to know of our world, and yet we know nothing of theirs. I don't know if it's maybe because they have magic, so they're more inclined to believe in things such as another world, or what?
What's Arcadia like?
What can I say about a whole world, girl? It's a beautiful place for sure, but we're stuck in the past. We don't look ahead, not like our cousins in Stark. Magic is all well and good, but it won't bring our world into the modern age, and Arcadia is untamed. It's wild and unpredictable. Good for the map business, sure, but not so good for productivity and expansion. No, some people may consider our world a paradise. The Sentinel, for one, they'd prefer to keep it just the way it is. Me, I'd like to see some changes, and fast.
Thanks for your help.
Maps!
No maps for me today, thanks.
Fair enough, miss, but don't expect me to come running to your aid if you ever get lost in Riverwood. Without my maps, you'll probably end up a mole's dinner or worse. Maps!
A mole's dinner? I don't want that. I want to talk to the bird some more.
It's a talking bird.
Alright, I guess I can't say much. We don't have money to go for the Cubs handler. Not that it would be a great idea, since I believe the maps merchant that we can't win without magic. City gates. Marketplace. That's interesting. Another one.
Stout guardians of the city. Wooden, but stout. And that blue fire is way cool. Stout guardians of the city.
Can't look at the blue fire.
This guy's selling musical instruments. Most of these I don't even recognize. But he's got a drum in there and what looks like half a guitar and a couple of dried rabbit carcasses. Ugh.
I was gonna ask how can she tell, and then I remembered she's a farm girl.
He's selling musical instruments. I'm not in the market for an instrument at this particular moment. Still, good to know where to get one in case of a musical emergency.
And we all know musical emergencies abound.
The walls look ancient. Arcadia must be at least as old as anything back in the in my world. Ancient walls. Those guys must be part of the city watch. They look a hell of a lot more intimidating than the Newport cops, despite the lack of an exoskeleton. Those guys must... This lady's selling fresh fish. I've never seen fish like this before. But if it's wet and has fins, fish it is.
Fish it is.
She's selling a variety of fresh fish.
Alright. Let's keep looking.
This guy's selling lobsters, crabs, eels, and... What the hell is that purple thing? That is so not appetizing.
Maybe it's not to eat.
He's selling a variety of fresh shellfish and other, delicacies. He's selling...
Okay, let's go to the docks. Those look... Oh, okay. I was like, those look like mountains.
The size of these galleons is truly breathtaking. And there are dozens of them, not to mention a number of smaller vessels. Arcadia must be a very important and very busy port.
Yeah, these galleons are huge. And they go so far off into the distance. I mean, doesn't the port stop here?
It's a lighthouse, much like the ones we have at home, except this one, of course, burns a blue fire. It's a lighthouse. Blue fire. It's either propane or magic. I'm guessing the latter.
Me too.
Blue fire. Breathtaking.
We have a small pier. We have, nope. Blue flame. We have a ship. Ship. Okay. Let's go to the small pier first. This is quite impressive of a location. That background. Wowie. Cute little barge.
I wouldn't feel too comfortable about sailing anywhere in that. It's like a toy boat for children. I wouldn't feel too comfortable about...
That head looks like a, I don't know, some kind of creature.
It's a quaint, old-fashioned treasure chest. I wonder if there's anything exciting inside it, like doubloons or whatever they're called. It's an old treasure chest. The old man and the, ocean? Looks like a lifetime at sea has left its tracks on him.
You might want to consider waiting until you be out of earshot before you badmouth me.
Good point. Also, I hate the old man in the sea.
Looks like a lifetime at sea has left its tracks on him.
You might want to...
Alright, let's talk to the old sailor.
Hello, old man.
I got me no treasure, and I got me no map of no buried treasure. I just be an old sailor with no ship, so leave us be.
Who greets someone with old man if you've never encountered this person in your life? Like, you don't consider that to be possibly rude in any way? Just calling strangers that?
What are you doing?
Mending nets, of course. What'd it look like I be doing?
I'm not well versed in maritime customs.
Me neither.
Mar what? Ah, yous mean sea life, do you not? Ah, the smell of the salty sea, the lapping of waves on your ship, the spray of cold water on your face, plump maidens in every part. Aye, I tell yous, I be having stories about the sea.
Care to share some of your maritime stories with me?
Mar what? Ah, tales of the sea, right? Sure, sweetie, I be happy to. Now, what stories be you wanted to hear, then?
Any tale of your exciting adventures will do.
I be having plenty of tales to tell. There be the tale of me adventures in the Baksheevan Empire, if you'd be interested. It'd be a tale of grand romance, just up your alley, be sure of it.
Sure, that sounds like a fine story.
Aye. It be near on 50 years ago that I was a mate on a sturdy old lady called the Three-Legged Whore.
Excuse me?
The what?
What do I be saying? She was called the Thrifty Horse, she was. Aye, that be her name. The Whistle Whatsit.
You don't remember the ship's name, do you?
Anyways, I be a young mate then, and we be anchored in Monterba, the grand western port of the once glorious Baksheevan Empire. I be having ship leave until the following evening, and it be me first visit to that exotic and dangerous port. So I sets out to have a look around. Now, bear in mind that Monterba be ruled by a mock.
A what?
Like all large Baksheevan cities. In principle, the mock be having to report to and pay half of all taxes to the Emperor in Port Altaban. But with the Baksheevan Empire having all but crumbled into pieces, the provinces do be having the power to do pretty much as they be wanting. And so I sets out on me own that day to explore the city. Now, bear in mind that all the cities of the Southlands, and that be me adventures in the once glorious empire of Bakshiva. And that be how I meet me bird. How I seduce and the romance the Mock's daughter. How I be chased from Mount Herb by the Mock's soldiers. And how I be the first man to walk across the desert of Shangagriel, the wastelands. And how I be getting this awful rash on. Ah, girl, you do not be sleeping, do you?
No. That was riveting. I'm awake.
What? What? Sleeping? No. Just concentrating really hard.
Really hard.
Arr.
Good story, though. Solid material. Ever considered doing a book?
Aye, but the agents in Marcuria be bloodthirsty vampires with no thought but to milk your life's blood.
Jeez.
Oh, so they take an outrageous commission then?
No, they actually be bloodthirsty vampires with a penchant for biting your neck when you ain't be looking.
Huh.
Okay. Would we really?
I'd love to hear some more maritime stories.
Sure, sweetie, I be happy to. What story you be wanting to hear now?
Oh my
Any
god.
tale of your exciting adventures will do.
Can we just
You
get him?
want more? Damn be me wooden left ankle. I be having a great old tale to tell yous about how I be coming to have me wooden pecker. It all began...
Your what?
You know what? On second thought, forget about it.
Ah,
What have you got in that chest?
what chest?
The one you're sitting on.
Oh, that be no chest, girl. That be me stool. Aye, me stool, carved into the uncanny likeness of a chest.
But what's in it?
No priceless treasure, that be for sure. Nothing at all. It be empty.
No, really. What's in the chest?
Oh, live snakes. Aye, snakes that'll bite your face off before you have time to jump. Better leave them be, then.
I ain't scared of no snakes.
I'm still curious about that chest.
Right. I be telling yous, curse the balance, girl. You never give up, do you?
Nah.
I be having no real treasure in here, like I told ye. But it be where I keep me personal articles and things I be picking up now and then on me travels. And me bed, it's where I be keeping me bed before I be losing him. I be a stupid old man. He be my best friend. I ain't nobody else around to talk to, you see, on account of him being a talking bird.
What happened to your talking bird?
I be cheated out of him. Aye, that cups handler on the marketplace be cheating me in a full game of cups, and I be having to give me bird up to try to win me money back.
And what happened?
He
He
didn't
be
win.
taking me bird when I be choosing the wrong cup. Aye, my best friend taken from me. Cursed be the balance. I be all lonesome now. The worst part is that me bird is now a prize to be won. A prize in the cups game. Beat the handler thrice and you win a prize of your choice, me poor bird.
What's your bird's name?
Bird.
Creative.
Oh,
Thanks, so...
I'd better get going.
Ah, yous young'uns all be always running round. Everything be so important. He's be having no time to sit down and take a breath. So go. Be not wasting your time here with me.
So that bird that we ran into and insulted is this guy's bird. Dang. Really be like that. Just losing your birds to the wind.
Assorted cargo. It's a small ship or boat. I don't know the difference. Is there a difference?
I'm not a maritime person by any means, but to me, I would think a boat is just like a small one, and a ship is a large one. Like, I imagine like a rowboat type thing, very small.
Judging by his ungainly stance, I'd say he's a mariner pining for the sea.
Oh, I never thought about that. That's why he's rocking back and forth. Makes sense.
It's a sailor. Ahoy there, matey!
Pardon?
Isn't that how you sailors greet each other?
No.
What do you say then?
Usually, hello. And if it's sunny, nice day for it. We might even try a "How are you today" then, if we're feeling adventurous. But never, ever, ahoy.
This is valuable information.
Aye, matey, that it be.
I also feel like we're in a parallel world, so maybe pirates are different there, since that's clearly what she's thinking of. They might speak differently.
Why aren't you out at sea?
Do you see the sail on that barge over there?
Yes.
Is it flapping?
What?
Is it flapping? Is the sail flapping in the wind?
No.
And why is that then?
Because it's not windy?
Exactly.
Well, can't you just use oars or something?
Oh, what an excellent idea. Now, why didn't we think of that? Of course. Oars! By Jaw's stunted left arm, that's it. Why have we been moored to the dock for a month with our merchandise dropping in value when we could have just rowed our way to Guyenne?
Are you being sarcastic?
Sarcastic? Me? What in Jaw's name makes you think that?
How can April, Queen of Sarcasm, not tell if somebody else is being sarcastic?
How long's it been since the last wind?
Near a month. Ever since that accursed alchemist put some kind of spell on the wind. The Moja'll be cursed if I know why. But it's a bloody catastrophe. I've sent some good people of mine up north to deal with him. But not one has returned. Now the Areed High Council speak of sending an entire army platoon to sort him out. But I'm afraid that just might piss him off.
Dang.
Who's this alchemist who cast a spell on the wind?
I believe his name is Clax. Roper Clax. Lives in a bloody rock somewhere up north, beyond Riverwood.
Thanks for the chat.
Aye.
This is such an abrupt ending to our conversation. Alright, let's go. Well, we've explored the port. We explored the gates. We explored the merchants. And I don't think there's really much else to explore at the moment, so we should probably go back to Estrum Tobias. Tell him we saw the sights and met the people.
It's Vestrum Tobias Grensret.
I knew there was a way to make her run.
Excuse me, Vestrum Tobias?
Tobias. Just call me Tobias, please. I require no ceremony from a distinguished guest such as yourself. Did you enjoy the sights?
I don't know. I'm overwhelmed. Walking around out there, seeing with my own two eyes things that can't possibly exist. I kept thinking, it's all a dream. I'll wake up at any moment now and everything will return to normal. But then I realized, I'm still here. It's real. I can touch it. I can smell it. And you know what? It doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense here. Magic, alien creatures, parallel worlds. I don't believe in those things. I don't believe in fairy tales.
In your world, in Stark, there is no room for magic. That is, and always has been, the curse of science, the fallibility of logic and order. They leave no room for the imagination. If it does not fit into the narrow perception of the laws of nature that your world adheres to, it's a fairy tale. But then, magic has its downsides too. It's unpredictable. It invites chaos. It puts the balance in peril in a way that science alone never could.
I keep hearing about the balance, and about Stark, and Arcadia, and... This is probably gonna sound strange to you, but I'm clueless. I have no idea what this place is, or what I'm doing here, or... All I know is that something strange is happening in my world, I guess. I had dreams, and the dreams felt so real, and then things started happening in real life too. Things that couldn't happen, and
I think I will begin at the very beginning. I believe that is why you were sent here, to learn, to understand, to see for yourself. Like you said, you cannot believe in this place. Well, you will. After you have learned the truth, you will. Come with me, and I will tell you the story of Earth as your books never have. And when your eyes and ears are open to the truth, perhaps your mind will follow. We can only hope. Come. This is the true story of the balance, as observed by the Sentinel, the Order of the Balance, the Fathers. The Sentinel Minstrum committed this story to the pages of the scriptures, and to these temple walls, thousands of years ago, so that coming generations could learn and understand their past and their future. The wall paintings we are looking at became known as the Murals of the Balance, and it is through these images that I will recount our common history to you, April Ryan. The story begins and ends here, with this mural. Ages ago, and in ages to come, the Earth was one, and magic and science existed side by side in nature and in all people. There was balance, and there was harmony.
You're saying there was just one world then?
One world, one Earth. Magic and science in balance with each other, within each and every living creature. The power to make the stars dance and to create life itself was within our grasp. But then, humankind began to exploit this divine power of two, and they saw fit to use it for their own selfish purposes. The balance of the cosmos was in peril. Unless something was done, unless man was humbled and learned to fear the power he wrought over cosmos, the twilight of chaos would fall upon Earth. It had happened before, in distant times and on distant worlds, and it would happen again. And every man, woman, and child of every people and every race would be devoured by the coming apocalypse. We were given a visitation then. The Drag Kin, having lived among us for untold generations, rose to offer their guidance and assistance in preserving the balance on our world.
The Drag? I think I've heard that name before.
Drag Kin, Draken, Dragons, whichever name they go by, they remain the eternal servants and custodians of the balance. There were 4 of them here on Earth, and of the 4, one who would found the Order of the Balance, the Sentinel. The first Minstrum were instructed that magic and science would have to be separated before the balance collapsed and brought untold disaster. Earth would have to be split in 2 equal parts. Arcadia and Stark, magic and science, chaos and order. The first Sentinel were counted 13, 6 scientists, 6 magicians, and 1 who was between, the Drac-Kin, our mentor, our custodian, our learned guide. Both magic and science were needed to perform this most difficult of tasks. To split a world in 2, to create 2 worlds from 1.
Wasn't the use of that kind of power dangerous to the balance?
Yes, and so for this purpose, they built a tower to channel their powers and focus them on the divide that they would create. The kin had brought a disc with them, a disc forged in the fire of their world. Placed at the base of the tower and the epicenter of the divide, the disc and the tower would become one, a conduit for the flow of magic and science. At the appointed hour, the 13 came to the tower, and with them a woman whose destiny was decided by the purpose to which she had been born. She would be the first guardian, the human protector of the balance, who would stay in the tower for 1,000 years to watch over the 2 worlds and to ensure that the flows of magic and science were always equal. And so the ritual began. One world was to become 2, separated by the balance, and each world visible to the other only by way of dreams. Who was ushered into which world was not an arbitrary choice, nor one taken lightly. For the magical creatures, the choice was simple. They had to go to Arcadia. Their kind would not survive in Stark. But for others, families were torn apart, lovers separated, and friends lost for all eternity. Encircled by the 12 and the 1, and the 1 who would be guardian, the disc at the base of the tower began to spin faster and faster as more and more power flowed through it, until it was a blur. Darkness enveloped the tower, but the disc glowed brighter and brighter. Reality turned, and in one moment, a new reality had been created and 2 new worlds born. In the tower there was silence. The original disc had disappeared, and in its place was a smaller counterpart, a similar yet different disc. Around and outside the tower, the world looked different. They were now between Stark and Arcadia, between reality and dream. This was the realm of the balance and of the guardian, and it would be her home for the next 1,000 years. The one who was kin picked up the disc and said, "This disc is a counterpart to the original disc, which has now become this realm, and the key to which has been split and divided in 4. The key is the disc, and the disc is this realm." This mystified the 12, and the one who was kin continued, "Know only this. The Guardian's realm cannot be broken unless the disc is broken. But nor can it be repaired without the disc being repaired. The 4 pieces, that is the key, will be given to the 6 of you who are to be taken to Arcadia for safekeeping. Yet the key will never be complete," he went on, "without the precious stones that adorn each piece. I will keep 1, and my fellow kin the 3 others. Should the day come when this realm must be repaired, or the worlds reunited, and that day will come, you will assemble the disc, and the kin will come together one last time." With that, 6 of the 13 went to Arcadia, and 6 to Stark, and the one who would be guardian ascended to the throne. Witness the mural, where her dreams and hopes, her very soul, were locked away in the disc. In service of the balance, these traits were nothing but barriers. Through new eyes, the imbalance between the worlds was as clear as the stars themselves to the Guardian. And with one thought, she channeled chaos from Arcadia and logic from Stark into the disc, and redistributed the power wherever it was needed. A new era had begun, the era of the Guardian. After they left the tower, 2 of the Drakkin went to Stark, the other 2 to Arcadia. The 6 who came to each world started what is now known as the Sentinel, the Order of the Balance. But while in Arcadia the Sentinel thrived, in Stark they did not. In Stark, the memories of magic and the balance could not survive in the face of the new reality of natural laws, of logic, and of science. And soon, very soon, Arcadia became nothing more than legend, a myth, tales of fairies to recount to impressionable children, and stories to frighten and entertain around a fire. And while dreams still brought sights and sounds of Arcadia to those asleep in Stark, they were discounted as mere dreams and nothing more.
So that's it? We forgot about our past and about Arcadia? And that's the way things are? Then what's wrong with that? And why does magic from Arcadia seem to have begun leaking through to Stark?
That is another long story. But I can tell that you are tired of stories, and so I shall be brief. As I told you, while in Arcadia, the Sentinel grew in numbers and in strength. In Stark, while flourishing for a brief time, they were soon diminished and powerless. Some of the Stark Sentinel did not take kindly to this, and they berated the Arcadian Sentinel for their politics and teachings. The Stark Sentinel wanted people to work towards reunification, while their brothers did not. So the inevitable soon came to pass, and the Stark Sentinel parted ways with their Arcadian brothers, and named themselves the Vanguard. And while at first their philosophy was not so different from ours, over the years it changed radically. The Vanguard wanted the divide torn down, the worlds reunited, and the return to what they called the Glorious Ages, when humankind could control the forces of cosmos. But first they needed their own servant in charge of the balance, their own guardian. Now, every 1,000 years, a new guardian took the place of the old one, because no one can be separated from their souls for any longer than 1,000 years. Every 1,000 years, a new guardian was born. The balance provided the seed from which a new fruit grew. But now, it has been 200 years since the previous guardian, the 12th guardian, was to be replaced. Every new child born to the balance has been taken away by the Vanguard, to be studied in an attempt to control them. In every instance so far, they have failed. But the 12th guardian could wait no longer. Only a short time ago, the disk in the tower shattered, and the guardian left his throne. The balance is now untended, and we have yet to find a new guardian. Unless we do so, the Vanguard may get their chance. And they may be able to place their own puppet on the throne, to rule the balance according to their principles. And this we cannot allow. It will mean the end of Stark and Arcadia, and the dawn of an era of chaos. Now do you see?
I understand the history. I can even accept it. But I don't understand why I'm here and what Cortez wants with me.
The balance is in peril, April. The Guardian has abandoned his tower. He has disappeared, and there is no one to take his place. He must be reinstated to protect the balance until a new Guardian may be found.
And what can I do? I'm nobody. I've just been having a lot of bad dreams.
You are a strong shifter. I have not seen your like in my lifetime.
A shifter?
Someone capable of opening doors between worlds. A shift. A portal between the realms of Stark and Arcadia.
Are you kidding? I didn't do anything. Cortez was the one who opened the shift, and he just waved his hands around in the air. I don't think I'd be capable of opening a portal even if I had a magic wand.
Only a shifter's own power can allow her to travel. No one else can do this for her. Cortez only channeled your power to aid you. He would not be able to step through the shift himself.
Even if that's true, I don't have any control over my talent.
Not yet. But in time you will. How else do you intend to travel back to your world?
God, I hadn't even thought about that yet. Can't you help me?
I'm afraid not. Even if I could shift, I would not be able to channel through you like Cortez did.
So, I'm on my own?
If you have any questions, I will do my best to answer them. But aside from that, yes. Yes, you are.
That's so not cool.
No, it has been unseasonably warm. If you don't mind, I will return to my studies now. Thank you for listening to an old man and his long stories.
No, thank you. It's starting to make a little bit of sense now.
That is good news. Come see me again if you have any more questions.
That wasn't the first long story we heard today. And boy, that was a lot. That was a ton to process. Whoops. Yeah, we're gonna need some time to think about all this. So, let's do that and we'll pick it up in the next one. Thanks for watching.